With the latest update, Pidgeot got buffed in Pokemon Go, and with Wing Attack it now can get to Brave Bird way faster and also has access to Feather Dance, so let's take a look on how good this Pokemon is going to be. Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at Pidgeot. Now, this Pokemon is a very interesting one. This team you might already recognize from my top team videos, as I thought already that this team might be very decent. We have the Shadow Swampert in the lead here, having access to the legacy move Hydro Cannon, which is one of these strongest, if not the best move in the game currently, as it's just so strong, especially on the Shadow version. It just hurts everything. Even like this Lantern here, you will see me going for 2 baits, and I'm still going to be able to reach this next Earthquake in time, or will be able to knock out the opponent's Lantern, and I can go into my Noctowl here. I saw the Trevenant already from the opponent with that. We see the opponent's Noctowl coming in here right now, and it doesn't really matter anyway for us, as we can go ahead and go for some Sky attacks against them. I will be able to take one. I don't really care about it. This is a Pidgeot showcase anyway. I'm going to keep the shield for my Pidgeot at the end. It doesn't really matter if I knock them out here or not, because I will be able to just go into my Pidgeot afterwards, as I still can farm them down here. We have Wing Attack, which is a legacy as well, and we can go ahead and go for one Brave Bird now to knock out the opponent's Trevenant. There's nothing they can do about it. We can go for the Brave Bird now, and this Brave Bird will knock them out pretty easily. Next opponent coming through here, we will see Swampert against Galvantula. This is also a matchup that I really want to see in the lead here, because in the back, Galvantula might be a little bit tricky. What we're going to do here is we're going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon. For the second one, we're going to go 1 over. Galvantula needs usually 3 fast moves to get to their charge move. We are outspeeding that by quite a bit, to be fair. I will be able to reach the next one in time. They're going to shield it up as well. And I'm now basically only 2 fast moves away to my next charge move. I will be able to go for that soon, but they're actually going to swap out before into the Manibus. I'm debuffed, so I'm going to go into my Pidgeot. Pidgeot now with the buffed Wing Attack, we need the Elite Fast TM for it. We'll be able to get to those Feather Dances way faster. We will be able to go and debuff them first, which will allow us to take some more moves, as you can see here. The fast move of them, which is Air Slash, doesn't do as much damage. Foul Play still can be taken by this Pidgeot. We will go straight for the Brave Bird, and this is the benefit over Pidgeot compared to the Noctowl, for example. You have a very crazy debuff move, and as well you're going to have a nuke move. Here I'm calling that they go straight for lunge without looking at the Pokemon, and they did exactly that, so I was able to take this resisted move, and we see the Swampert coming in from the opponent. I'm gonna go for 1 Hydro Cannon. 1 Earthquake doesn't knock them out. Would have also still done a ton of damage. I think it might actually knock them out. I'm not sure, because I'm Shadow. I don't really know the counts there. I think actually 1 Earthquake would have been enough as well, but it's fine. We see a Trevenant against us. We're gonna go into our Noctowl, and this is the main reason why Noctowl exists in this team. You're going to try to bait out the Galarian Stunfisk. You have a perfect answer against Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, and Noctowl against it, especially with some certain movesets, like certain IV spreads. You're going to be able to win this matchup against them, or get a shield advantage, which is all that you really want here, as we will be able to hit 2 Shadow Balls already. This will get them very low. We see the Rock Slide coming through, and at this point of time, I think I will be able to farm them down. And this allows me here to get to another charge move in time. I'm just going to go blind for the Shadow Ball, because it's neutral against nearly everything. Sadly, I was wrong with that. This was going to be a Drapion coming in here, which is not ideal, but it doesn't really matter too much either, because we have them now into range for 1 Hydro Cannon. They can go for 1 Crunch. Crunch can debuff myself, so I'm going to let the first move go through, and I'm going to expect them that they're going to swap eventually into their Trevenant, because it's their better matchup against me. They're going to go for another charge move here. Fine for me. It doesn't really matter too much, as we can go into our Pidgeot now against the Trevenant, and there's nothing they can do anymore. And they're also going to see that now and going to surrender, because we double resist all, we only single resist the grass type moves by them, but we double resist their main damage source with the ghost type moves there, which is nice. We see a Medicham in the lead. Of course, we're going to have 2 flying types in the back, which will allow us to take this Ice Punch pretty easily. Still, we will see a very good swap by the opponent here into a Lantern, which kind of caught me off guard. So already a horrible start to the game. We have the best answer for my backline now on the field, and also they caught the move against me, which is kind of annoying. They have to still throw, but it's going to be only a serve anyway, so it doesn't really lose them too much energy. They're going to go for another charge move here, which is also going to be a serve. And I'm pretty sure they're going to get to another serve pretty soon as well, which now means we have to shield this move up. And we kind of are forced to farm them all the way down here. And we're going to get a ton of energy, which is nice. They're going to most likely go back into the Medicham. Very likely, yeah, exactly. We will be able to go for one more Hydro Cannon and another Hydro Cannon or an Earthquake here, but they actually catch the Earthquake on the Noctowl, so my opponent caught 2 moves of me, which is really annoying because I think that's going to win them the game. I have to shield this move up here. I will try to debuff them before, but yeah, this is so annoying because they caught the Sky Attack and the Earthquake. Like, very well played by my opponent here, like insanely good played by my opponent. We will see the Sky Attack coming through here, and I will be able to go for another Feather Dance trying to knock them out. But in general, this game, I think I'm going to lose this game now. I'm going to be able to at least get the debuff on the opponent here, but I think I'm going to lose this game at least. But in general there, I would have been easily able to still win this game if my opponent didn't catch the move, but this was just on my opponent's part. Very well played there. But shows again, like even against this one where I have a pretty awkward lead and a pretty horrible save swap against me, I still have chance to win the game if my opponent doesn't make crazy good catches. We see a very decent-ish lead for us because we don't really want to face it with our backline, but we see now the Scrafty against the Noctowl. This is actually a pretty bad matchup for Noctowl, which is kind of crazy. Maybe I should have went to my Pidgeot, to be fair, because I would have had the option to debuff the opponent. Might have been a better play. Noctowl is way more bulky than the Pidgeot. I shielded up the wrong move here sadly, but I will be able to still get the final shield by the opponent. But they're going to go ahead and they will now be able to farm me all the way down. I'm going to go for the Hydro Cannon here because they have so much energy. I cannot risk the farm long with my Pidgeot. And they're going to go back into a Dugong here. This is something I don't really like to face. Dugong and Lapras are a core breaker for this team, but you don't really see them too often, so it's not really the biggest issue. But now we will see here the Icy Rain coming through. We're going to shield up the move and we will be able to go for a Hydro Cannon here as well, which will knock them out. We see the Skarmory coming back in and we're going to save one Hydro Cannon as we were debuffed. I don't really want to throw it immediately. We can go into our Pidgeot and even a Brave Bird will not be enough to knock us out here, but it will do a ton of damage against them as they are triple debuffed as well. We're going to get them super low. They will be able to knock us out, but we have our move stored for exactly this reason, knocking out the opponent's Skarmory here, still winning us the game. Next opponent, let's see what they can do. We're going to see the Mandibuzz in the lead. Something which is kind of neutral against my backline. They have the move, Air Slash. I will go for one charge move here before, because this will allow me to do more damage towards them, and I can now go into my Noctowl, which is pretty neutral, and we're going to be able to bait out the Stunfisk again, which is exactly what you kind of want to do with this one here. They seem to do enough damage to knock me out with like their fast moves afterwards. Maybe this is like a worse IV Stunfisk, or I think just the Air Slash damage of the Mandibuzz prior put me kind of into range where the Rock Slide nearly knocks me out at least. I will be able to go for one more Shadow Ball here though, which might get the shield from the opponent. Let's see. It does not, but we're gonna get them low and we actually still get to another charge move here. This is really nice because this will knock them out. We can realign, we can go into our Pidgeot now against the opponent's Mandibuzz. We will be able to outspeed them later on, but this is going to be an aerial ace. I'm going to have to let the moves go through. I'm going to let this next move go through as well because I'm kind of hoping that I will be able to knock out the opponent here somehow and might be able to win the final matchup by debuffing my opponent's attack, because this is the cool thing about Pidgeot. If you are in a situation like this where the opponent is forced to go into their final Pokemon soon, which is going to be the Medicham, you will just be able to get the Feather Dance debuff on them, which allows you to hopefully win this game here, but it's going to be a tough one. They're going to go ahead and go for one Power Punch, which I called correctly, which is nice, but still they're going to basically regain some of their counter damage back with this one. They're going to no-shield my move. I have to shield up their Power Punch now. And I have to go for one Hydro Cannon now to hopefully knock them out with that or the next one. Let's see. They're going to shield this move up. I can go for another one here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go for one more fast move with our Swampert and then swap out, trying to keep the damage on the Swampert and win the game here by farming them down with a Wing Attack. Next opponent, we see Swampert in the lead. I have a very decent backline against Swampert that's very neutral. I kind of need to keep my Swampert alive for potential Steel type in the back or the Gliscor as well. For Gliscor, it's also pretty decent. We will be able to take one move from the Gliscor. We actually will be able to take 2 moves from the Gliscor. And we can basically pressure their shields here with our Sky Attack, which is amazing. And we will be able to go ahead and go for another one as well, which is nice, as this one will be able to knock them out if they don't want to shield here, but it seems like they want to shield here, which is fine for me. I would be able to realign here if I wanted to, but I think for me, because I don't really need to. I will be able to just go ahead and go to my Swampert, and I should be able to reach another charge move in time. But I make a small mistake here. I should have swapped out already, or I should have, I don't know, like I lose CMP here, which is kind of annoying. Let's see what they're going to have in the back. Maybe we can slow have some chance here against them. They're going to let this move go through, and it's going to be a Noctowl. And here you have now the matchup against those two birds. We're going to see the Noctowl against our Pidgeot. And what we can do now is we can go ahead and go for one Feather Dance. Feather Dance will be able to do no damage basically, but will be able to debuff the opponent's attack by 2 stages. And that's not all. We will be able to do this again now. And you see how little damage they do with their charge move now against me. I will be able to go for another Feather Dance. We will get them lower and lower. We have basically the same amount of health. They're going to have to shield up the next move. I'm not going to debuff myself, of course. Here Feather Dance will already get the shield. Feather Dance will also be faster than, of course, the Brave Bird. They do basically no damage here. I can swap into my Swampert, and this will be a good game as the Hydro Cannon is coming through, knocking out the opponent and winning us the game. Next opponent, Lurantis. Kinda horrible against us. We're going to swap for the Noctowl, and we get greeted by a Bastion. What a nice start to the game. Kinda completely getting hardwalled so far. Let's see what we can do here still. It's going to be a tough one for sure. But we will be able to reach 3 Shadow Balls against this Bastion all the time basically, which will allow us to put them into range where I can farm them down later on with my Swampert. I hope that they don't swap out later on, because of course we still have another bird in the back, which we don't want to face with the Bastion either. This is the best matchup where you can have the Bastion if you have it like in the back anyway. As we can now go into our Swampert, we will take one move, but they're going to swap out here sadly into their Lurantis. I'm actually going to shield up the first move, I think, which is going to be the superpower already, because they're going to get debuffed here. I didn't expect them to get to the next one that fast, but they're going to be able to get there in time, and I will be going for the charge move now. Going to be the Feather Dance, of course. I think I might have made a mistake there by not farming them down. I can go for another Feather Dance here, trying to debuff them so much that I can take the move, but sadly they're going to go for another charge move here, going to be the Stone Edge, and they most likely have an answer in the back with the Sableye. My only play is to go for an Earthquake here, and maybe they no shield, even if they have 2 shields. And that's exactly what's happening here. Goodbye Sableye, goodbye Bastion, and even though this game was impossible to win, because my opponent screwed up big time and I used my only win con which was available to me, I were able to win this game, which is pretty nice. Next opponent, Stunfisk against us. Again, very nice to bait this thing out basically with our Say-Swap of Noctowl. We will be able to go for another Shadow Ball here, and we can go for another one now afterwards. Rock Slide going to do a ton of damage, but we can still go for another Shadow Ball as well. Let's see if they're going to shield it up. They do not shield it up, and we're going to be able to farm them down at the same time as we go down. In the zero shield scenario, that's kind of hilarious, but we will see now the opponent coming back into the Medicham, which allows me to go into my Pidgeot. I will be able to go for one charge move here as well. They're going to go into their Swampert, allows me to go for one Feather Dance. Feather Dance will debuff the opponent's attack, of course, and we get the shield back, which is even better, because this allows me now to at least take one Hydro Cannon here. I can go for another Hydro Cannon against them, and I don't know how I should play this, to be fair. They're going to shield this move up. I think I should have shielded this one. It's kind of awkward that I didn't. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. It's definitely going to be a tough one. What my play now is I'm going to try to go for extra energy here. Try to go for 2 Brave Birds. So I'm going to overfarm to 100 energy. Can I reach the second Brave Bird in time is the question. I will not. I lose CMP here, which is kind of annoying because I had the move stored already, but well played by my opponent, I guess. I think there were ways I could have won this though. Kind of annoying. I think if I just shielded with my Swampert, I would have been fine. We see a horrible lead, literally the worst possible lead with a Dragon Knight there. And we see a Bastion in the back, which doesn't make it better. I most likely have something like the Dragon Knight, not the Dragon Knight, the Reggie Steel or something in the back, I would say. Like maybe double steel, Dragon double steel. Does make a lot of sense. But we see the Sky Attack coming through now. You will be able to go for the Swampert now as well, which is fine. Flash Cannons coming through, which is really weird. Like, what? I will take, like, I'm going to shield the next one here, which is going to be a Flamethrower. Interesting play by my opponent to have Flash Cannon. I don't know for what Pokemon they would use that, to be fair. Flash Cannon is a pretty horrible move as well. Stone Edge is definitely the better move to go. I'm going to go for 2 Hydro Cannons here, trying to get the shields from my opponent, which worked out pretty well. Surprisingly, to be fair. Going to shield up the move here, which is going to be a superpower, and we will see the opponent going to not swap out yet. I will be able to go for my next charge move here, and because they're debuffed, it's actually going to knock them out, and we see a Medicham coming in, and we're going to see a Medicham coming out again. And this is also going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, see you on the next one, have a great rest of your day, bye!